Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sex, Drugs, and Jesus podcast. I'm your host, Vannon, and I'm here with another bonus episode for you called What Dreams May Come. Now, the book of Jeremiah, let me see, chapter 23 and verse 8. Chapter 23 and verse 28 says, "The prophet that has a dream, let him tell a dream, and he that hath my word, let him speak my word faithfully." And so I had a dream early this morning, and this is the 4th of May in the year 2023. And I wanted to read this dream to you and kind of go through it. I'm here in Puerto Vallarta right now. And if you've been following me on social media, I've been doing hella drugs. I started with ayahuasca. I moved over to some LSD this weekend. I'm scheduled to do me, a little something different, that we'll be talking about, all in an attempt to try to heal myself or to get healed. I've totally invited God into all of this from from not just a breakup from Ethan, my former boyfriend, the covert narcissist who I found out on Christmas morning was running around with all these men, cheating when he had COVID, didn't care who he was out there killing or whatever. But as my hypnotherapist, Elaine Perilous, was explaining, this experience with Ethan, with the ex, has cleansed me of all the narcissists that have ever impacted me in my life. And I went back and started counting them. We're working on at least like 7. These are not all people I've dated. You're talking siblings, parents, different people I've worked with. And both of my parents are not narcissists, just my dad. And well, it is what it is. And so I've posted blog about this. I put resources on there. There's meetup groups. There's different groups online if you've been affected by a sex addict, and everything like that. And so at any rate, I'm going to read this dream from my dream journal and we'll go back and kind of talk through it. I know I'm not the only person God speaks to in dreams, and I want you all to know that you're not crazy. You don't have a hurt mind. There's nothing wrong with you. If you see things in your sleep, if you have waking visions, you can go on the website, onto the internet. I recommend a website called dreammoods.com. That's dreammoods.com to help you sort through the interpretation of these things. You can always reach out to me through my website, sexdrugsandjesus.com, and I can help you try to find the meaning of what it is you've been shown. But let us not discount our dreams, because the Lord speaks to us in various ways. For me, it's a whole lot of dreams, but I know a lot of people dream too, because I've talked about it and many of you have told me. So let me get on right into this. So this morning, as I lay in my bed in Mexico, I smelled a foul spirit. In my dreams, I saw Ethan, and it's like maybe he was with a guy at a public event. I entered the room and was part of this event's lineup. I was wearing all black and was singing the line from Taylor Swift's song Style, which says, "So it goes, he can't keep his wild eyes on the road." As I sing this, it's like I glance with minimal effort to look over at Ethan. What I'm thankful for is that my emotions remain level and calm. This was done and stated more in a matter of fact way. And I felt a sense of acceptance for the current state of things. The next paragraph, because I had about 3-4 dreams, in rapid succession this morning. In this same morning, I saw myself in like an optometrist or some other type of doctor's office. I heard my name called the first time, and I believe I went in to speak to someone. My name was called again, and no assistance came. I felt like they were playing a game with me as I stood in the hall. There were 2 halls on 2 separate sides of this doctor's office building. As I stood in the left side, I hollered out loud enough for both sides to hear me asking, "Who called Devannon?" It's like I wasn't going to be played with. Yep, next paragraph. I think I think in this same office there was an older lady reading a newspaper and waiting with her older husband, who seemed to be disabled, like he wasn't moving or talking. I think the lady who plays Tina Turner's mother in the movie What's Love Got to Do with It was a worker there and came out and asked this old lady a question. She questioned the lady in a complicated way, and the old lady responded the best she could and stayed calm. The worker, the lady who plays Tina Turner's mother in What's Love Got to Do with It, told this older woman that the older woman's response was complicated and did not have to be. After this woman who plays Tina Turner's mother left us, the older woman who was hanging out with her older, even older husband, she turned to me and said that she didn't feel that she had been complicated. She didn't feel that she had complicated that conversation. And I confirmed that she had not. Tina's mom had projected her complicated nature onto this older lady because she thought this older lady was weak and feeble and that she could get away with doing it. Skip a paragraph. In the same morning, I saw like I was running late for returning to a class or group of some sort. I was called to come along with some of the other rebels who weren't exactly back on time, but once we got to the door and stood in front of the reception podium, they did not tell us what to do nor bring us into the room. I stood for a little bit, then I broke ranks in order to challenge them on playing with us like that. I'm happy to see that I am no longer willing to let anyone play games with me. So, and then these conclude the dreams that I recorded from this morning. And I'm really, really praying that the Lord begins to open many of y'all's third eyes, your eyes so you can see what's happening to you, like in a spiritual sense. The Lord speaks to us through dreams. So I pray and speak that y'all's vision become open and that the Lord speaks to you in unique ways that you're going to know that it's him because the Lord be speaking. You just got to want to hear and see. So So Christianity, and God comes from like the Middle East. Over there, like when you're reading something in like the ancient languages, Hebrew, Aramaic, and different things like that, if something's doubled, then that means that it's like a sure thing. That's why Jesus would say something like, "Verily, verily, truly, truly, I say unto you." They don't necessarily use the word very, certain adverbs to emphasize something. If something's emphasized, they might just say it back to back or twice. In the Bible, when the dreamer Joseph was interpreting Pharaoh's dreams, the one about the plagues that were going to hit really the whole earth, you know, he Pharaoh had the dream about the cows and the corn. The skinny cows come about the Nile, gobble up the fat cows, and the skinny cows, are still just as skinny as they were before. Then you have the 7 ears of corn, the blasted corns, you know, the the fucked up corn, eats the good corn, and then they look like they eat anything at all. So that's how Joseph knew that a famine was coming to the land. And he said, because the dream was double, that means the thing is sure. Well, this here was 4 dreams. Okay. So this thing here is doubly sure. And this all has to do with the process the Lord has been putting me through with unraveling me from the power of narcissistic people in my life. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I looked up statistics on narcissism, and I'm not even going to bother to tell you the bullshit because the numbers are not high enough. There's far too many people. I was just talking to a lady today I was out on a tour at like a timeshare thing, and she had to break up with a narcissist. They lay everywhere. They all over the fucking planet. I don't see how anybody could have a kid and let them start dating and not teach them about narcissistic personality disorder. It's just everywhere. And but God is a God of process. The Lord knew exactly who my ex was. That's why he warned me against this in the beginning. But there was a process that in the beginning of the relationship, but there was a process that I still had to go through. And I'm happy that this has happened so I can share this with you. So so the first line that I said was talking about smelling a foul spirit. A spirit that issue forth from Lucifer, from the devil, Satan, whatever you want to call him. I am going to be calling him Lucifer in a lot of episodes moving forward because, you got to name something what it is. And I really want to drive home the personhood of the devil. I know a lot of people don't believe in hell and don't believe in the devil. Okay, that's up to you. But naming him for me reminds me that he is a sentient being with an individual will who likes to go out and hurt people. I view people with narcissistic personality disorder. We have this fancy term psychology has given them. I don't know, care if you want to call them sociopaths, assigned to them Machiavellianistic tendencies, whatever. Spiritually speaking, their asses are just evil. Period. Okay, whatever the hell you want to call it, it's just fucking evil. And so but there's a way in the spirit, like you can smell like a demonic force that comes around you, and it's like a wave, comes over you. Different things can be smelled. When Evangelist Nelson would preach in church, she could smell, new life. To my knowledge, I've never smelled that before, but she could smell, spiritually if like a woman was pregnant. You can see in the spirit, you can sense in the spirit, you can taste in the spirit, you can smell in the spirit. There's a lot you can do in the spirit, and the Lord works in mysterious ways. So I smell this foul spirit. You got anything like that hanging around you, you got to banish it and dismiss it, and it's got to go. What I think it is I'm smelling that demonic force that possessed or that is in possession of my ex, that was controlling me through him. And this whole time, and now that I've started to break away from him, that thing is acting up because it don't want to turn me loose. While I've been here, not only have I been doing hallucinogenics to untie myself from Ethan, but also there's a lady who I've met who is super powerful, super helpful. I'm going to be listing her information on my social media later on. And she and I started working together yesterday in consulting with the 7 archangels, and a few other things that Ethan and his demons won't be able to stand against. Okay. Because I realized that I was under a spiritual attack, because I'll be sitting down somewhere just doing whatever, coloring, working on whatever, writing or whatever. And it's like there's a dark force will used to walk up to me and try to make me sad about him, sad about the relationship ending, or sad about, whatever, and try to make me think about, who he's with or what he's doing. And I was like, I've been happy all day. This is not something that's on my mind like this. Like I could tell it was something walking up and trying to force me to not be happy. And I said, I'm glad about this in a way, because the devil cannot come and try to take away what you don't have. So Satan sees that I'm actually happy, that I've been relieved and I've been free. And he's not pleased about that, but I could tell that I was actually under a psychic attack with this. And I was like, oh, hell no. We got to change this. I was not the one sexually insecure in the relationship to begin with, and I was totally okay with us being open and working on that, so whatever, Ethan may or may not be doing didn't bother me when we were together. It's not going to bother me now. It was him with the issue, him with the insecurities, him with the secrecy, him with the lying. I'm like, I'm not about to be bothered about this now. It's not gonna happen that way. I got my own life to live. And so I've been really, really battling this. And so I smell this foul spirit. And if you ever smell a devil, you gonna know. It's like it just is like it just like wraps around you, and it just smells like decay. Not like it doesn't smell like a rotten egg or anything like that. It stands out, and it's just like it's almost like a premonition type of feeling where it just takes your mind away from the conscious moment. And and so when you're in the dream space, understanding works differently. Why? So in my dreams, I saw, my ex with another guy. These are the things people tend to worry about. Ethan projected his fear and anxiety on me, and I took that shit on, and I should not have. When you're in a relationship with somebody, you can take on their characteristics. Oh, and they can seep into you over time, especially if you're having unprotected sex. There are spiritual qualities that come along with, like, say, vaginal fluids, semen, blood, sweat, urine, your hair, your skin cells, DNA, and different things like that. Whether you want to believe it or not, but I'm gonna tell you, witchcraft and things like that are real. If you let somebody get a hold of anything that has your particular DNA in it, fingernails, eyelashes, anything like that, your tears, anything that's just unique to you, honey, they can cast a spell on you and do a work on you that you're not going to be able to get out of unless you filled with the Holy Ghost, or unless you know somebody who cares to struggle and fight that battle, on your behalf, because you don't have a time getting away from those people, because these things carry our essence. I know people go around squirting cum all over the place, and sucking it up and swallowing up like it's just, 10 cents a gallon or whatever the case may be. But from the beginning, it was not. So, you know, and so when you're in a relationship with somebody and you're constantly coming exposed to things that carry their essence, that's another way that you take on them. And if you think sex is just a physical act, you're fooling yourself. I don't care if you know the person or not. Every time you cross auras with somebody or spiritually, you get that close to somebody, you take on a bit of them every time. This is a huge reason why highly promiscuous people are not happy, because they are super confused energetically. I just met somebody down here the other day trying the bone, and no, I didn't let him. Who has a husband, who has kids, who was just suicidal a few months ago, who has all these things and has had so much sex in Puerto Vallarta, he's almost sick of it. Yet he has that neurological path in his head that he can't get out of it. And I said, no. And I haven't gone through all I've been through to just have cheap sex with people. And no, I didn't meet him on an app or anything like that. Sex flows in the streets here in Puerto Vallarta is just expected, and I'm like, I'm not doing it. But so why was Ethan at a public event? He never really was the type to go out in public. Anywhere we went, was my idea. Now look, not everything within the dream space is going to necessarily carry meaning. Some things are just like fillers. Sometimes you can have a dream and it's just a play dream, so you're gonna have to kind of sense. Could be public because that's all the exposure that has come to this to our former relationship. I don't know. I haven't had time to really look up the exact meaning of why I was wearing all black, but I know that it has to do with, deep consciousness and things like that. Also, spiritually speaking, working with the color black is not necessarily evil. Black has a tendency, especially when you use it in like candles and things like that, to consume evil. So the color black is actually a powerful color to help to protect you. Not necessarily like how Hollywood would portray it. Black is not bad. Now, why was I singing Taylor Swift? Because the bitch is bad. I mean, I like her. I didn't really pay too much attention to her until after all of this, stuff happened here. Now, when I go back and listen to songs, they make more sense. I've been jamming the hell out of Miley Cyrus's Flowers. Yes, baby. Today I bought myself some flowers. I had myself a nice sunset dinner out on the beach. Yes, and I got my fucking life, and I didn't feel alone. I didn't feel lonely. I didn't miss my ex. I was fucking happy, and all I sensed was peace, peace that I hadn't had in 5 years. That's what I sensed, you know. So that line from Taylor Swift's song "Style," when she says, "So it goes, he can't keep his wild eyes on the road." That is why our relationship ended, was because, because my ex could not control his sex addiction and his promiscuity. Period. Why, that I look over at him, in the dream with minimal effort. It used to, all of this used to upset me, and it doesn't anymore. I've learned to. I've forgiven him. I had a dream the other week, and the spirit was telling me, I have to. It's time to move on. I had a dream the other day about, like, how I was loading dishes in a dishwasher, a huge dishwasher, larger than anyone I've ever dealt with. And in the dream world, when you dream about, washing dishes, that's you moving on to a new phase. That's what that means. And so the spirit keeps telling me to just move on and to move forward and to move forward. The reading I had yesterday with the shaman, the girl, the lady who consults with the 7 archangels, she was one of the assistant shamans at the ayahuasca ceremony that I went to, and that's what came up on the cards. I think those were tarot cards, that she had showed me. I have another reading with her tomorrow to follow up with this. And it was all about forgiveness, opening my heart, letting go of the past, being present in the moment, and not worrying about none of the nonsense that Ethan did, or more to the point, that the devil did through him. But I'm going to tell you something about narcissistic people, narcissist personality disorder, whatever the hell you want to call it. And people, like, I'm a light worker. I work with light. I'm a very empathetic person. Narcissistic people are dark workers. If you have light workers, you have dark workers. I need y'all to learn that, to just accept it and understand it, because it is what it is. It's time for us to stop being naive, and open up our eyes to the truth of the way this world works and what goes on in it. These people are conduits of the devil. They're nexus points for all that is evil. Satan was the first dark worker. He was the first arrogant one, the first narcissist, and the first person to think themselves so high, as to think that they could overthrow God. And you imagine, as mad as I was about Ethan running around with these men and looking me in the face every day and not telling me, can you imagine how God felt? Even though he knows everything, he still has feelings. I tell y'all this all the time. Talk to God like he has feelings, not just somebody you want to get shit from all the time. Ask him how his day's going, and things like that. Make it personal. But can you imagine, Lucifer rallying the angels together to try to overthrow, heaven, and then coming to serve God in his presence and smiling like he wasn't doing that? And just to be clear, the devil is not God's equal. If you were to try to rank something, he might be the archangel Saint Michael equal, but there is no debating with God. In the Bible, we see the devil arguing with Michael over the body of Moses. I think that has something to do with an ancient Hebrew tradition. But there is no devil trying to argue with God. Now, we see the devil asking God's permission for things like in the book of Job, but there is no debating with God. And so, and then Jesus calls Lucifer the father of lies. Narcissistic people are also people who don't mind lying. So when they go forth in their strength and their evil strength, these people are perfect conduits for Lucifer himself. Anybody who can tell a lie and be totally okay with it are in league with the devil. And that is all that there is to it. Okay. I look at them like Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars. You know what? It is May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. And tomorrow we're going to have some revenge of the 5th. Hallelujah. But, when I look at movies and things like that, I don't just look at it for entertainment. I want to talk about what it means. What is God saying to us here? Can we get a little bit more out of it than entertainment and popcorn, people, please? Can we take it a step further? So let us examine Emperor Palpatine, this feeble-looking fucking old man, somebody who you would not think was the ringleader of all that is evil in the galaxy. Hey, somewhere along, he was a politician, a senator, and all that shit. Somewhere along the way, he met, I think it was Darth Plagueis, was his master who taught him the ways of the dark side. After Palpatine got tired of his ass, he cut him down in his sleep one night and then moved the hell on. And we see him do this. Count Dooku was his apprentice, and he used him till he found Anakin. And then he had Anakin chop his head off, and he just moved on to the next. That's how narcissists are. They just go on to the next. They go on to the next. They go on to the next. And speaking of going on to the next, y'all, when y'all break up with these narcissists, they will move on quickly to another person. It is not about you. Narcissistic people will always move on quickly for two reasons, at least. One, because they never fully showed up to your relationship anyway. Two, they were never invested in it like you were. It would be cold-hearted and in a state of nihilism for me to not act like I wasn't impacted by, the 5-year relationship or it ending and just, to already just be moved on. But a narcissist will. I've heard y'all tell me, you broke up with somebody and then you see them out with somebody else or whatever, and it hurts you. That ain't got nothing to do with you. There's nothing more you could have done. It's a reflection of them and how fake that they can be. Because narcissists have masks and things like that. They know how to just pull a different mask out, tuck their feelings away and act like they weren't there. And they may not have been there. Who the hell knows? And then they just shuffle on down the road. That had nothing to do with you. That's just a testament to just how shallow they are and how unwilling to face themselves that they are. So the Sith, like Palpatine, how he really looked was how he looked when Mace Windu redirected the Force lightning at him and burned him. He didn't really burn him. Okay, when you read the books and get into like the canon and Star Wars lore, the Mace Windu was a black Jedi. He was bald. He had a purple lightsaber. And y'all ever see me play a Jedi in a movie? Yes. And bitch, I want a motherfucking purple lightsaber. And I wanted to have motherfucking zebra handle with motherfucking diamond shit around the fucking handle. Yes, give me the motherfucking purple lightsaber, bitch. Yes. Absolutely. and, and so Mace Windu is strong enough to redirect the Force lightning. And the Force lightning is the electricity that comes out of the Emperor's hands, back at his ass. He didn't actually hurt him. What he did was burn off the mask that Emperor Palpatine had on, because the Sith have the ability to use the Force to create a mask. So when Palpatine was running around there being friendly with Yoda and Obi-Wan and attending like Qui-Gon Jinn's funeral, though he was laughing and happy that Darth Maul had cut him down, he was just being a fake ass bitch the whole damn time for all of those years. And it wasn't until Mace Windu redirected that mask that it burned off and we could see the regular Sith yellow eyes and everything like that. Yes, Palpatine lied and said that he was injured in the vicious attack by the Jedi when really it was him. Well, I wonder who could tell a lie like that. Oh, I know, a narcissist. So, he just spun his own version of reality and everybody believed him. And so the galaxy went into darkness for, I think, 20 years until Luke, was strong enough to do something about it. So I look at every narcissist like another motherfucking Palpatine. They look like, at least in the covert narcissist case, they look like these feeble little unassuming people who really sitting there smiling in your face while they're plotting against you the whole time until all the shit comes out. Can you imagine how Yoda and Obi-Wan Kenobi felt dealing with this damn dude? I mean, this emperor did the most. He would hire people to come try to assassinate him, quote unquote, so he could pretend to be weak and have the Jedi come and rescue him from the assassin he sent, just to play this whole game with them or to distract them. Now, I wonder who could play a game with somebody in order to, I don't know, just fucking be entertained. The narcissist can. So, as they say in that Sullivan King song, someone else, the games that you play are just sickening. That's my favorite line from that song. The games that you play are just sickening. As the Gin Blossom said in their song "Found Out About You," the things you said and did to me seemed to come so easily. The love I thought I won, you gave for free. you know, you would think that if somebody really, really loved you or liked you, it'd be a little bit harder for them to twist your mind and play games with you, but not for a narcissist. You think it'd be a little bit harder for somebody to go out and sleep with people they barely know, but not for a narcissistic sex addict. These things are par for the course with them. They can go out and do all those things and come home and have a bowl of cereal like they ain't done shit wrong and go on about their life. I love that I was singing in this dream because whenever you hear, you know, concordant music and song, it's healing. Whenever you hear music in your dream, it's healing unless the music is fucked up. Then you got some issues on your hand. So I took this microphone, honey. I walked up on that stage. I barely glanced over, at my ex or whoever he was there with, and I gave him the zero fucks. And I went on about my performance. It was simple as that. Now, why was I in an optometrist's office? This has to do with my opening vision and how I'm starting to see things more clearly. And I'm happy, and I was standing in the middle of two halls. When you're in a relationship with a narcissist, they pull you in two different directions. You don't know whether you're coming or going. Okay, are you up here? Are you back there? You don't know. But what I'm proud of and thankful for is I was having none of this shit no more. They called me, then they didn't say any damn thing. And I was like, who the fuck called my name? Nah, we're not having this. You all gonna either do some shit or I'm leaving. It's gonna be one way or the other, but I'm gonna go sit here and be in this purgatory or this limbo. Okay. A narcissist will have you neither here nor there because they are neither here nor there. They don't want to be here nor there. One thing with my ex, the way the devil had him, and I would imagine still has him, he did not like. I would say you need to either be black or white, hot or cold, in or out. That was too much. He considered it to be a restriction when really he liked the gray area so that he could manipulate. But it was the Lord himself who said that you got to either be hot or cold. And if you're lukewarm, he's going to spit you out. He said a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. He said, let your yes be yes and your no be no. Anything more of that comes of evil. And so this whole two hallway thing where somebody called me and nobody's answering. See, that's a game plan. You call me, you know what you did. And now why the fuck you not saying nothing else? Nope. I'm happy that I started standing up for myself, in this dream. Now in this same office, you got this old lady reading the newspaper and her much older husband sitting there in need of her assistance. Now, why the mother of the person of Tina Turner from What's Love got to do with it? So if y'all not familiar with Tina Turner's story, Angela Bassett plays Tina Turner in the movie What's Love Got to Do with It? Okay. If you break up with somebody who's physically abusive, verbally abusive, narcissistically abusive, I'll recommend 3 movies for you. A Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Yes, A Diary of a Mad Black Woman Waiting to Exhale, and What's Love Got to Do with It? Them are your 3 movies. I don't recommend you to burn they shit up. Well, you know what? You do whatever you need to do. That's what I'm going to say, and pray about it. Because sometimes the bitches have it coming. But be smart about it. Don't go to jail. Be sure you're somewhere where you can do that shit and not get in trouble. But sometimes they shit do need to get torched. But be smart about it. Be sure that you're not going to get in no damn trouble. But and definitely get rid of all this shit one way or another because they can't be leaving with no spoils. Oh, hell no. Hell no. So in What's Love Got to Do with It? So Anna Mae Bullock is Tina Turner's real name in real life. Her stage name is Tina Turner. She's from the country. Her mother in this movie is a very manipulative woman, totally fucking narcissistic, as is Ike Turner, Tina Turner's husband. Ike Turner's beating the fuck out of Tina and everything like that. And her mama is like literally telling Ike Turner where the fuck to go find. She found Tina. She sold her own daughter out when she tried to get away from Ike. I know far too many people who tried to leave narcissists and then they go back. I left Ethan once, for 3 weeks and then I went back. I didn't know he was a fucking narcissist. I know there was a name for the shit that I was observing. But once I realized that, I pieced the fuck out. But some people don't do that. You know, they have kids, you have all these business interests. But honey, when you're with a narcissist, it's literally life or death. I have known of them to like shoot their significant other. The people are unstable. And whether they're going to shoot you at point blank range, like happened with this one lady, or they're just going to kill you slowly and siphon the life force out of you, like what my ex did to me, it's still a death sentence. I mean, damn, I was thinking about, Dexter the other day, that, that hot ass serial killer from Showtime. I think he showed more compassion and balanced thinking than a narcissist because he just killed the people. A narcissist will dangle you like a fucking rat in front of a cat and let them just slice you and cut you down and shit and just not really quite let you die because they get off on the fucking torture. Again, the games that they play are just sickening. So Tina Turner's mom represents a manipulative force, somebody who don't want to embrace the truth, somebody who seeks advantages for themselves. You'd have to watch the movie the full sense of just how fucked up this woman was. And so for her to present in this dream as somebody who wants to come out, and you've seen this before, maybe you dealt with this type of Karen or whatever, where you are just be having a regular conversation and the bitch finds a way to make shit all complicated and then gonna turn around and act like you're the one who complicated it. Ethan did this all the time, would project his confusion and shit, onto me and everything like that. In hypnotherapy, we call these dreams like what I had, an early morning dream. And what happens is you, besides it being God speaking, you're venting out problems. So me seeing this is that pain and that consternation that he put into me, leaving me and going back to his ass and going back to the pits of hell from whence it came. Because from the beginning, I was not so. I don't argue with people. I don't have fights. I don't do that. He was the only person in my life I ever raised my voice with. And after I would argue with him, he would have this sick sense of satisfaction that would come over his face because he got off on the shit. And I would feel so unhuman, so unlike myself, and just feel dirty and filthy because I'm arguing. Why the fuck am I arguing? I'm healthy. I can walk across the room. I can go to the bathroom and pee by myself. I can take a shit. If I go to school, if I want to, I can learn. I can go out in the sun. I can feed myself. I don't have to eat through a goddamn tube. I got a car. I got healthy cats. I got a house. I can travel. I got a million things going on right in my life. Why in the fuck would I be having an argument with somebody over what? The only time you're going to have an argument is when you lose perspective and you are not a thankful person, because we have a lot that God has done for us. And so for me to be in a point that I let my vibration get low enough to stoop to his level, all that did was hurt me. And I hated doing that. But I'm so thankful that I don't do that anymore. Now that he's gone, there's nobody to argue with. Now that he's gone, I have total fucking peace. It's only when the Son makes you free, you are free indeed. And Jesus has set me free from darkness I didn't realize I was in. And so this has been vented out because, Tina Turner's mom wanted to tell this feeble old lady that she was the one with the problem when really it was Tina's mom who came out there with the issue. And why a feeble old lady? Because narcissists view the people who they prey on as weaker than them. They view them as somebody they can take advantage of, because you're not going to see two narcissists in a relationship. It's not going to work. Because they're always calculating and seeing. They look for empathetic and nice people they feel like they can get over on. If they can't do that, they're not going to be hanging around long. Okay. But the Bible says that in our weakness, God's strength is made perfect, and that the Lord will take the weak things of the world and confound the supposed strong things of the world. And talking to foolish people, the Lord said that professing themselves to become wise, they became fools. My message to narcissists out there, why you think you're laughing at us, people who were nice enough for you to steal from, siphon energy off of, take advantage of, and all of that. While you sitting there laughing at us, God and the devil are both laughing at you. God is laughing at you because he sees that your payback is coming. And the devil is laughing at you because he's made you foolish enough to be like him which is what got him kicked out of heaven. And he knows that you're going to end up with him when you die too, because you're not going to be able to take advantage of people in this life and mess over them and think that you're going to depart this plane of existence and have a peaceful afterlife. Whether you believe in hell or not, you're not going to have a peaceful afterlife if you fuck over people in your current life. It don't go that way. It does not go that way. Let me see. So when these people come trying to project their evil on you and their chaos, look at it spiritually. These people are filled with all kinds of demons and devils and negative energies and negative forces that they do not have in check. Those things have full control of them. And they're going to tell you, my ex used to tell me that I was controlling. And I said, how? That doesn't make sense. I'm usually like submissive and things like that, in relationships. So how would I be controlling? That would throw off the whole kink for me. That was just one of the dumbest things he ever said. And then he said a lot of dumb shit, because narcissists, the things they say don't have to make sense. It just has to serve them in the moment. Look at Trump on TV. Or fucking damn near any Republican at this point. From one sentence to the next, this shit don't even balance out because they just saying whatever the fuck in the moment. That's exactly how fucking narcissist is. Ethan would call me controlling when we went to counseling. I'd be like, okay, tell me exactly when I was controlling and blah, 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 just feeding into the energy. You don't ever engage a narcissist, because that's what they want you to do. They saying that crazy shit that they know is bullshit just to get more energy out of you. He couldn't answer the question. Hollering all up and down the street in New Orleans, calling me controlling out of nowhere, and get in front of a counselor and can't even much render a reason, for the hate, the rage, the resentment. If that ain't bullshit, I don't know what is, but this is how narcissistic people work, because their brains are not developed in terms of rationale and empathy. That part didn't grow. It's not there. It's not even dead. It don't exist in them. Trying to get empathy and love out of a narcissistic person is like trying to ask a 2-year-old to understand astrophysics. Okay, you come to a 2-year-old or a 1-year-old with some complex calculus equation or some shit. They're just gonna blink their eyes and stare at you like they don't know what the fuck you're talking about. A narcissist is no different, because they're basically like a 2-year-old trapped in an adult's body that never grew. That's why you'll see them pout and throw their hands up and down and stomp across the room, with a heavy foot stomping and things like that. And they follow you and follow behind you. I can't tell you how many times Ethan stepped on my goddamn heels, and I'm trying to get him to walk next to me. He was always walking behind me, and of course then wanted to complain that he wasn't an equal in a relationship. Well, I don't know what else I can do. I've done everything I can to show you that I consider you an equal, but if you don't accept it, then there's not to do. I'm saying, Ethan, but this is, as I've talked to people, as I've traveled this world, since all this has happened, it's the same damn shit in different countries and different places, y'all. It's the same fucking thing. It's all over the goddamn world. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's not just him. It's so fucking common. And every time I talk to a girl and they're like, yeah, my man did this, I'm like, yeah, my ex did the same shit too. It's like they just don't grow up. It's like they like itty bitty children still just running around, you know. Unfortunately they can fucking procreate and make more of their little asses. I personally think they need to be locked up in mental hospitals, and I'm not for incarceration, but it doesn't make any sense to me where you have people locked up for having, I don't know, $50 worth of dope on them, and they just want to go home and get high. And you got narcissistic people out here who can do like my ex did and literally go give someone COVID and maybe kill them. Who knows? And that shit's not illegal, but homie can't go buy $50 worth of crack or coke or whatever the fuck and go turn up, with his girl or whatever at home. The United States is a fucked up country. Narcissists should not be running free, in my opinion, out here devastating people like they do to just go move on and do it again. The only good thing about it is that the Lord will use wicked people like that to do like what he's done for me and sharpen and strengthen me, because the Bible describes wicked people as tools in the hands of God to sharpen the saints and to sharpen those of us who are light workers and who gives a fuck about the welfare of humanity. Now that much I would have them stay free for, so that the Lord can continue to use them to help people who are actually of God, even though they are not, and most of them never will be, because they don't have the courage. And then the last one, how I'm yet again called by someone, um, and I'm standing in front of that reception podium, and then it's not like they're not doing anything with me. That's still another a way of playing games. And what I'm proud of and thankful for is that I wasn't having this shit no more. I'm like, you bitches called me up here. You said I wasn't here on time. All right, then let's do the damn thing. Mm-mm. People in this world like to go and arrest control over people when they have no control over themselves. You've seen these insecure people, be you in a doctor's office, a grocery store, that one bitter bitch who ain't got no control in her life, who just sitting there toying with you and just playing games because finally somebody has to listen to her. That's how narcissistic people are. So y'all, when y'all have these dreams, and yes, this is a beautiful dream journal. Ain't she cute though? Mm-hmm. Honey, yes, I saw this. I was like, it reminds me of the stars, darling, the stars. Yes, I must have it. So let's go ahead and rewrite some stars like from The Greatest Showman. Yes, let's live a new life. Let's dream a new dream. Let's do a new do. So all of you have been impacted by whatever kind of hurtful relationship, whether it's was some narcissistic asshole or some physically abusive person or whatever the hell the case may be. I pray you come out of it. I'm going to be praying for you greatly. Reach out to me with your dreams, and I'll see what I can do to help you with them. But don't stay in a relationship with a narcissist. They will not change. The only thing you can do is change your position. If they ever are to have any sort of hope of redemption, they're not going to truly seek it if they're in a relationship with anyone. They would have to, completely detach themselves from all people for however long it takes for them to, I mean, not like their friends and stuff like that, but they cannot be, and then maybe, depending on how bad the case is, but they can't be in any kind of situation where they're going to be tempted to take advantage of somebody, which is their natural nature. They've got to get away from people and get in front of a counselor by themselves, because couples counseling is contraindicated for a narcissist. I didn't fucking know this until like a couple of weeks ago. If you're in a relationship with a narcissist, do not go to couples counseling with him. I'm going to repeat. If you're in a relationship with a narcissist, do not go to couples counseling. Do not go. The shit will not work. I tried it twice, over a span of about, I think we were about like a year and a half in our relationship when we tried the first couples counselor, and the other one just ended last year when I realized he was lying to the damn counselor. All the narcissists are going to do is manipulate the session and turn the counselor against you. That's what they're going to try to do. Our counselor had to take a whole 1 hour session one time to prove to Ethan why she wasn't working against him. Girl, bye. Bye. No matter what the woman said or did, all he heard was, you and Devanna are against me, because he wanted to go in there and put on a show, which is exactly what he did. So all you're doing is wasting your time and your money, and you're giving that damn narcissist another audience to perform in front of. And remember, y'all are going to counseling for 2 damn different reasons. They are going to reinforce their agenda. You, empathetic, nice person who needs to leave this narcissist, are going for the same reason I went, to be transparent, to tell the truth, to be upfront and honest, to work towards building a better relationship, and to grow personally, and to have it all out there so you can forge forward. Them narcissists don't give a fuck about none of that. They go in there for themselves. And then they're also laboring under the damn delusion that just by going to sit in front of a counselor checks the box of, hey, I went to a counselor, because Ethan would say that all the time. Like, look at these accomplishments. I've gone to the counselor. I've done this. I've done this. And I was like, yeah, bitch, but if you go to the counselor and you all don't know lie, well, then that doesn't do anything. So it's fucking supposed to be, so you have to be careful with these people, because anything that they do, they gonna try to just wave it around as a trophy or a medal, but there's still quality to what they've done. Basically, what Ethan was saying is my gift to you is me sitting here in this office, whether I sit here and contribute to the energy in the room or actually tell the truth or not. Because narcissists think a hell of a lot of themselves. And this is why they're so twisted. They hate themselves at the same time they think a lot about themselves, yet they don't fully accept themselves. And then they want to go and be with somebody. And then a lot of times they want to be with somebody who they know is better than them, but then they don't want to give that person credit for being better than them. Now, who could have said something like this? Jesus, when he said a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. You can't be back and forth, in and out, left and right, and up and down at the same time. It's not going to work. you know, so that is my message to y'all. And to my message to narcissistic people, you can be helped, but you're going to have to humble yourself before Almighty God, and because you need a serious exorcism if you have been consumed with the sort of devils that make you a narcissist. You have a stronghold on you, but it's not like it can't be broken because there's nothing too hard for the Lord. But you're gonna have to sacrifice the things that you like and you think you can go without, and show that true sacrifice in order to get God to move on your behalf. Anyway, I'm about to go up in here and watch me some Star Wars. I'm gonna say a little prayer for y'all. May the 4th be with you. Happy revenge of the 5th tomorrow. And just remember that everything is going to be all right. Mwah.